to the Spicy Theory podcast. We're coming today with part 2 of Moms Let Dads Be Dad. I have my guest Tony here and BJ, along with our bartender Big Ron, who's going to tell us a little bit about his business and the word of the day.
I'm glad to be here. BR Associates LLC. You can check us out on our website, brassociatesllc.com. The word of the day is presented on the screen right now. You will see it every time you see it at home. It's your job to take a drink with us. You'll see us drink in the background. Have fun tonight.
All right, so we last left off when I was attempting to tell my story, but by it being such a sensitive subject for me, I couldn't get it out. I'm ready to talk about it now, and like I said, my mom never talked bad about my dad, who wasn't in my real biological father, who wasn't in my life. And growing up, I always wondered why, when he lived maybe 10, 15 minutes from me. And I think I've only seen him 3 times out of my life. And once was when I was 18. By that time, it was too late. I grew up with my brother's father is who I call dad. I call my biological father by his real name, his first name, because he wasn't a father to me. So, and because of that, I told myself, I'm not going to be like that when I have kids. So I tried, when I had my first son, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I can't speak for all fathers, but I know for me, that was something new for me. Because, it's like, for a female, it's in their nature to know how to take care of a kid because they grew up playing with doll babies, and we had G.I. Joes, outside. So I didn't know, so it was a learning process. But I said, okay, I'm going to be in my kid's life no matter what. And fast forward, having kids, everything is fine and dandy. Then the problem started after we separated. It was my ex-wife, we separated, and that's when all the problems started. I was getting protective orders put on me, and I wasn't nowhere around. And, it's hard because I have a son, a 20-year-old son, 18-year-old daughter. And, every boy, every child needs their father in life, but especially males, young males. And I would ask her, hey, can I get my son? Let me live with my son. Let my son come live with me. It was always no. So she had a problem with him, put him out, and he's like, oh yeah, you need to go live with your father. But that lasted a week. She called, oh, I miss him. But I kind of figured, the child support is why she wouldn't let me get my son. And I told her, I don't need anything from you. Just let me have my son. And it just never issue. I had conversations. She would call me, we would talk until she got a boyfriend. Getting the phone calls, stopped coming. Me getting my kids every weekend stopped. But every time she was single, everything was all good. And I reached out to her other kid's father after they broke up. And he didn't like me, and I never complied. And he told me it's because what she told me about you. But, as far as, the relationship with the other father, I didn't have a problem with him. And I thought as though we have something in common. We have kids with this. So we should be able to get along because of that. And, the same thing she did to me, she did to him. Ended up marrying a dude that she was cheating with. And I just gotta say, ladies, no matter what you're going through with the dude, the kids have nothing to do with it. Let the fathers be in their kids' life. You don't have to be around. As far as okay, my daughter for instance, just graduated high school. I didn't go to the graduation. They had a graduation cookout for her. I had no clue. She, needed stuff for college. I didn't know that. My mom was like, "Hey, your daughter needs this for college," and I had to explain to my mom, you didn't lay down to have these kids. I did. So nothing should go through you. If you can't call me for what you need, you must don't need it. That's my opinion. And, I try to reach out to both my son and my daughter, no response. Birthdays, no happy birthday. Father's Day, no happy Father's Day. And, I thought I did a pretty damn good job as a father. It is some fathers that don't want nothing to do with their kids. It's also some females that don't want nothing, because it's not more so deadbeat dads. It's some deadbeat moms out here too. And I have a buddy who had his son since birth. It's like she pushed him out the 3 days she was in the hospital, and then that was it. Here you go, he's yours. So it's not just, but they say it takes a village to raise a child. But if you're not letting that village raise this child, what can you do? But I think it's been a learning process, because I'm like, dang, I was trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? I'm pretty sure I played a little, because I'm not perfect. Played a part in it, I'm borderline asshole, so I probably, did something, but I've never done anything to make her be like, I don't want you to be around your kids. So anybody else want to, talk about the relationship they have with their kids, or?
Okay. As time went on, I believe the relationship with me and my children, outside of my middle child, has grown drastically and significantly closer. Me and my oldest daughter, we went through a situation recently, probably about a few months ago, where we almost had a falling out, and she didn't want to receive the wisdom that I was trying to give to her about certain people and certain situations in her life. But what I had to do is I had to step back, and I just had to let God handle the situation. Just had to put the whole situation in God's hands and pray protection over my daughter. And what pretty much transpired was that later on, my daughter saw what her father was warning her about was true. And even her mother told her, your father saw this and he was trying to warn you about it, but you didn't want to listen. And we had to go through the whole rekindling the relationship situation and rebuilding and regaining trust in one another, and actually working to get back in each other's lives. My youngest daughter, our relationship has always been great. Never had an issue with my youngest daughter or her mom trying to keep me out of her life, stuff like that. But the middle daughter, like I said, I haven't seen her in 7 years. She just recently turned 17. Soon she'll be graduating high school. So we'll see what happens, But I don't blame her. I blame the mother for poisoning the child against me, especially when the child, as a young child, says that my daddy's never done anything wrong to me, but my mama said. So I just had left, a long time ago, I had to leave that one in God's hands.
You did?
Man, I don't think that I ever really had a bad situation with either one of the kids. I think it's been times where I wanted more, I wanted more conversation, I wanted more time, I wanted more love, but I think it was because my relationship was just so tarnished with my father growing up that I just wanted more and different. But I will say, man, if you think about why it might have changed or why it might be different, we all got our own reasons, right, Tom? We can think about so much of why it should have changed or why it should have been different, but really, as our kids get older, it's all we really hope for. We hope that they get older and they understand. Regardless of what happened, my son, we chased him around the country, like I said in the first episode. And thinking about it now, as I just told y'all off camera, they coming now. Just since the first episode, they coming down to South Carolina, and I'm like, well, that give me a chance to just see them more, get closer, and just talk to them, right? But will that really change the outcome of how our relationship are? I don't know. So, as a father, I think we just gotta just keep doing what we know is right, and hope that that day will come where we can break down and tell them. Like my father, for instance, not be quick. Even though he wasn't there like I wanted him to be, like Terrence, Ron, even Tony, y'all don't know me. I have my adolescence life, and how many times y'all seen my father. So even though he wasn't there really to be there, me as an adult now, I can at least hear him. I ain't even gonna say understand, because that'll be a lie. But I can hear him out, be like, okay, Pop, I get it. So I'm hoping that day come where my kids can look back and just see how much I tried, and your kids can see how much you tried, your kids see how much you tried, and say that, hey, Pops was getting it for me for real.
Now, question, like I said, I'm a borderline asshole. Do you think you had any role in why the mothers are doing what they doing?
Most definitely. Most definitely. The reason why I say most definitely because I was a hoe growing up. Okay, I ain't gonna lie about it. Trust me, the song Papa was a Rolling Stone. I mean, granted, I know it was made decades before me, before I actually existed, but that was my theme song at one point in time. I mean, I put chapters of how to be a player in the dictionary. So, you know, it's many times where I was out here running the streets and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure my children's mothers were looking for a man that's going to love them, respect them, show them how a man is supposed to treat them, that's going to create this world for them to thrive in and things like that. But instead of doing that, I was running the streets. I was trying to smash anything that was born with a vagina. You know what I'm saying? So I believe I played a significant role in her hurt. Did I play a significant role in her keeping me out of my child's life? No. But I did play a significant role in her hurt. So I do take responsibility for that.
Man, he probably said exactly how I would say it. And if he wouldn't have said that last part, that's the part I was going to sneak in. Like, regardless of how I played a role in her feelings, I didn't play any part in what the feelings should have been in our relationship with our child that we made together. But I will say this though, Tone, if you think about it, I don't know what your situation was like, Terrence, I don't know what yours was like. But when you think about like the relationship and responsibility, it kind of go deeper. Like if I look back at now that I'm a full-blooded grown man, that's why time sometimes is the best thing. Just you gotta grow, like you gotta live, like my uncle said, you gotta live. So if I look back now and look at the relationship of her and her father, it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
Cause she ain't got a relationship with her father. So why would she respect the relationship with me and our son? Like why would she respect that? There's no respect in her relationship with her father.
But with that being said, like just to chime in on that, I mean that's where your understanding come into it. Sometimes to be like, you know how you sometimes people play the blame game. People play the blame game and they let the pettiness in, the anger in, if you will. Where you just look at it from your point of view and how you're feeling, how you're treated, and things like that. Like, you got to look at this word that kind of irritates me sometimes, but the word trauma. The trauma that she felt from that situation, it affects the trauma it affects y'all relationship. So therefore, listen.
I'm listening.
Let me hear you out real quick, because there are two different creatures. There are emotional creatures, and then some people think with the rational mindset. I've always thought to myself that my emotion, I put it out, and then it's over. And I don't, not dragging it on, but the rational mindset of myself thinks about both sides of it sometimes, and then I react to it differently. That's when you start to explain situations. Now, all you can do is say what you have to say, your point of view and how you feel, what your intentions are. If that person doesn't react to it, that's on them. That's their demons to deal with. But sometimes you got to keep that in your mindset. Like you said, she had this relationship. She expected this situation. She expected that situation. I mean, I've been there too. Like, I feel like sometimes in relationships that I've been in, some women felt like their father was like, commander to their mother and things like this. Listen, my meal should be this way. Come here, come do this. Make sure you take care of this. Blah, blah, blah. Do your part. And they rebel and then like this when they don't know how to play that role no more because they felt like their mother was so disrespected. I'm never gonna be like that. That's where that whole situation come in. That's where the whole to go back to the subject of this. Let a father be a father. Let a man be a man. Let a woman be a woman. Know your part in that situation. That trauma affects them differently, and sometimes they grow out of it. Sometimes they don't.
And Ron, I know you meant good because I know you. Like I know you. Like I don't even know who's gonna see this video or hear this podcast. I know you personally, so I know you meant good with that. But that's BS to me.
Yeah, I get
why. But because if you talk about trauma, if I let the trauma lead me on how I was gonna be a father or try to be a father to my child, I would be a terrible father figure.
I mean, I'm at the levels of it though. You're like me and you both are on our way to being 40 years old now.
I'm talking about even when we first made the baby.
No, that's what I'm saying though.
You talking about trauma though?
No. But I'm saying they're younger then, so they don't know.
Am I younger then?
They look. We're not talking about you.
We're talking about both though in this situation.
We're talking about
trauma is the word I'm talking about.
I get it. And listen, bro, we can argue all day long about whose trauma was worse, this one or that one.
I ain't gonna do that.
In a situation like that, how do you listen? You know how some people like two rights don't make a wrong. You know,
that's all I need to do then.
Huh?
You just answered it for me then. Two wrongs, then my trauma no worse than her trauma.
I'm sorry, two wrongs don't make a right.
I know what you're trying to say, but so her trauma is not exuded no difference than my trauma. So I'm not going to let that conversation go past for the sake of the podcast and people listening. If the one parent I'm not even going to say mother or father. If the one parent has trauma and the other parent has trauma, I'm not going to let one get a pass.
You shouldn't.
But that's what it sounded like you was alluding to.
What I'm alluding to is this: is that you ever said you said this comment before. You know what? You going back and forth with your son's mother, and you going back and forth with a woman, period, or you going back and forth with a friend, and they're not saying your point of view from it.
Yeah.
You know how you say, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall.
Yeah.
When you feel like you're talking to a brick wall, the only person you can control in that situation is you. So in your situation, do as much as you can do and do what you're supposed to do. Just make it in your eyes the right situation, and it loops back around, Terrence, to what you and BJ was saying, and Tony was saying. Listen, you know how you say your kids, eventually they're gonna see what it was. The important thing is to keep on doing what you can do and what you're supposed to do in your eyes. And one day, in my opinion, honestly, I've seen it happen a bunch of times. The kid always loop back around and be like,
"Yeah, I was one of them."
Yeah,
there's so much pain.
Kids loop back around and be like, this, "You know what? I see.
Yeah,
I see that you never went away. I see that you did this. I see that you did that." And BJ, I've been like you said, we've known each other since we was
younger than adolescent.
Yeah, younger than before high school, before middle school. So. Yeah. In that situation where you saw the pain and stuff was going on, your kid now, he never encouraged you or nothing like that. He always been like, I get it. You did what you had to do. You did your situation. Now, the other two gentlemen here, I'm sorry. I never saw, y'all situation as close as I did his. But I just know how that trauma thing goes. If we wanted to look at a situation like me, my father was always around, but he was just like me. He was prideful, he was arrogant, you know what I'm saying? But he knew I was always there. Yeah. Everybody know who I am. They know I'm prideful, I'm arrogant, it is what it is. But I make sure he know where I am at all times. He know that I got his best interest.
You're a great father.
Huh?
You're a great father.
Thank you very much. And honestly, from this situation, I'm not going to, I see the fact that y'all trying at this point over these other situations. But BJ, you've always been a great father. I'm gonna tell you like this: to do the things you've done, to pick up and do what you've done, and do this and do that. Every situation, I've always like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What I'm gonna do? And people always say the same situation. My son lives an hour away from me, but they be like, dog, you drive back and forth to take him to school 3 or 4 times a week. Yes, because what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do?
That's a father.
What I'm gonna do?
That's what a
I'm
father
not gonna argue with. So I'm sorry. That's my point. There it is, right there, BJ. I'm not gonna argue with her about my request request of not to do this and not to do that and not to go this far away. I'm never
But they're not arguing. I know me and Ron seems like we're going back and forth.
No,
y'all.
no, no.
But hold on, Tony, you're going to be able to speak to this. So take it and run, and I'm going to shut up. that not argument. That not arguing is the point of the show.
Hey.
Mom, let dad be dad.
You know
Yeah,
what?
Why
but
do I have to
in that
not
situation,
argue?
sometimes you got to do the best you can do in
To
your
be a dad.
in your realm. I accepted those things and I just did them, and then so you know why I did it, Tony? You know why I did it for the most part? Because the most important thing in the world is for him to know, and I'm your father, and I'm always gonna be here.
Yeah.
But the other part, or her part of it, was this: eventually you're gonna run out of things to complain about.
Yeah.
Because guess what?
That was my
well, you
thought.
don't do this.
They'll
I
find
did it.
something.
That was my
You ain't
thought.
gonna do this. I did it. But what about this? The money's always there. The time is always there. I'm the
Your
one
life
that's
on
driving
that.
an hour to see
Yeah.
these football games.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's driving this.
Yeah.
So when I have that request later, how dare you ever?
Yeah,
You'll
we like
never
that.
be able to say nothing to
Yeah.
him to say that I wasn't where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to do what I was doing. And same thing. BJ moved across the country dozens of times. He paid astronomical prices of
My
you
whole
know,
family.
currencies and time and like you know what I'm saying, where he could not even put up roots for a minute to do what he had to do. I can only speak on those situations because I was there for him. I'm not, you know, Terrence and Tony. I don't take nothing away from that. You know what I'm saying? But in my own situation, like BJ saw me crying. He saw me this when she said things that hurt me and disrespected me. You know what I'm saying about being a father. But once we got past that point, and you know, I was one of the lucky ones that dealt with an adult. I hope everybody heard that word, adult. I dealt with an adult that decided to listen. The most important thing is to know that our child knows that both of us are here for them. And, you know, of course, a woman will get, a man will get, people will get a little bit petty here and there, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But we both decided that he was the most important situation. And nobody, and then it goes back to another conversation I had with two intelligent people that I know. We didn't let the bullshit in. Nobody else has a comment to say about what we're doing in our arrangement. As long as it works for him, we make sure all our decisions are made that way. And I'm gonna stop on that point right there.
Okay. Now, I have a question for y'all. Staying on trauma. Okay, how has it affected you in the fight to see your kids? Like, mine are 20 and 18. They're old enough where they can get in contact with me now. Yours, 17. Your middle child, 17.
My middle child's 17. My oldest daughter's 21, turning 22 soon. My youngest daughter just turned 12. On the subject of trauma about that, now that I'm actually a trauma coach and I actually coach people through their trauma, I'm going to say that dealing with the trauma of not being able to see my children and stuff like that and having to fight and battle to be in their lives, I will say that it was a negative effect on my life because there was a lot of time, there was a lot of nights crying in the dark, you know, because I'm a man, because I don't want people to see me crying. I don't want people to see my hurt. You know, there was a lot of times of frustration and lashing out and hooping, hollering, fussing, and cussing because I know what it's like to not have a dad in your life. Okay. Now let me make this very clear. My father was always in the house, but my father was not always in my life. Okay, there was a large part of my life where my father was there in the home, but he did not participate in my life. Football games, basketball games, boxing, wrestling. My mother was there.
Indeed.
Okay, my mother was in the stands. My
Indeed.
mother was losing her voice cheering me on. Okay, out of all the time that I was playing Boys and Girls Club, middle school, high school sports, stuff like that, my father made it to one game. One entire
Hey,
game.
Tony, me and Tony played football
Okay.
together. Same
Yes.
situation.
We
My dad
played
only made it to
football together.
one game.
One
You
game.
know what, Tony? You know what's so sad about that though?
What's that?
Because he was in my dad, God rest his soul, great man. But he was like this. I saw a point in the movie one time, The Best Man, the second one, when Terrence Young was talking about his father. My dad was like this. His mother, gotta make the money, gotta make the money. My father worked his ass off monetarily. Did I ever see it? Did I ever have a problem with that? No. But he did miss a lot of shit. And that was a big problem. You know what I'm saying? That was a big thing that I saw later on. Hey, Dad, you know what? It's so sad about that, BJ. This goes back to that saying: as long as you do what you're supposed to do, it's always gonna come back. Because that was the critiquement that I had when I became a dad that I would never do. He got to play in.
Hold on. 100% correct on that one, and I gotta agree with 100% on that, because one thing that was engraved in my mind is I'm going to be a better father to my children than my father ever was.
It ain't just about
That was my motivation.
Dad only came to one football game.
One football game
4 years that I
ever.
played ball.
Okay,
One
now
game.
understand, I played sports all the way from the age that they was actually legally allowing me to play them. Okay, all the way until high school, and that man made it to one game. Okay, don't get me wrong, I love him with all of my heart, because now when I got older, I was able to let go of that trauma and let go of that hurt.
Tony was a great tight end.
Okay, I'll say it again.
He was a great tight end. Just let you know.
He heard you first time. So I say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
He was a great
Yes.
tight end.
Okay, so I was able to let that go, so that way he and I could build a relationship, and it wasn't just that so that he and I could build a relationship. I had to let it go to let me be me, because I was holding on to so much, and I was being so destructive to myself from that hurt and that, once again, trauma. Okay, that I was doing things that I should not have been doing. I was catching myself in places I shouldn't have been catching myself in. I was even hanging around folks that I knew I didn't like and wasn't clicking with. But because of this trauma that I had with wanting a father in my life and wanting to be able to say, hey, Dad, you know, da-da-da-da-da, I was doing things, lashing out, that I shouldn't have been doing.
Let me ask you this, because you say you let go of your trauma. And now I can say I haven't. I'm 40, and I still think, what did I do wrong? Why did my father not want to be in my life?
Okay.
Was it me? Did he not want me here? I mean,
Okay,
it's
so
like
you're talking. So right now
It
you're
was
talking.
him.
So right now you're talking to Coach Tony. So Coach Tony is saying, first and foremost, you need to remove him from the situation. Okay, that's first and foremost, because right now you're focusing on what he did or did not do. Okay, you already know what he did and did not do, but now you need to ask yourself, am I going to continue to let this bother me? Because regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what anybody does, that hurt still bothers you. That hurt is still taking a toll on your body. That hurt is still taking a toll on your mind. That hurt is still taking a toll on every single bit of you. So first and foremost, you have to remove him from the equation. And you have to say to yourself, is it more important for me to resent him, or is it more important for me to move past my past?
See, but I tried, but then it always comes back. I don't know what it is.
My brother, we family. You get free coaching sessions, so don't even worry about it. Okay, we're gonna work
I
through
need
that.
a free joint too.
But Tony, you know what that is? Tony, you know what that is though? Evolution though.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
evolution of like us being able to critique those
Yes.
things. That's the evolution of us being able to critique those things. Like we said, I told you, he was there monetarily, he was there this, he made sure this was done. But it's the other part that we missed, like what we just talked about, the little things that don't cost money to do. And that was the things that, like, I made an agreement to myself back then and there. As soon as me and his mom split, he will never wonder if I'm going to be there.
Can I drop a shameless plug real quick on that?
Go for it.
So it's funny Ron said that, right? The words, right?
Evolution.
No. He'll never have to worry. So without y'all even knowing none of this, it's already done and complete. I put together a book called "Don't Forget Your Father." So that book is a legit real life story of a year with both of our kids. So it gives us a year of every day me reaching out to the kids, because at the time I was having personal issues, right? So like personal issues, like why my kids not talking to me, right, Terrence? Like why they ain't talking to me? I got the best relationship with my kids, so I purposely every day I said, look, both of my kids, I'm gonna send y'all texts every day. It's gonna be a quote from me, a quote from Terrence, a quote from Ron. Anybody I know that got a quote, this to show you how easy this 10-second is, just to reach out and say, what's up, how you doing?
Yeah.
So 365 days, I sent a quote out to the kids, just to show them that quick little moment means this much to me.
Yes.
So I put it together as a book. So the goal of that book is just so fathers and kids can go through the same thing together at the same time.
I'm gonna need a copy of that.
Yeah,
I'm
literally.
gonna need you to say that book
It's
again.
crazy. Don't forget your father.
Exactly. Don't forget your father.
It's
Because
crazy
we
when-
are there and we matter.
Oh yeah, we
you
are.
said-
Spicy theory in the book.
Yeah.
Get a line. Okay.
You said the hold on. You
I
said
dropped line.
the question was how do you get past your trauma?
How did you get over?
How did I get past
Yeah.
it? Let me make this real quick. Okay, so me and my father, like I said, he was in the house, but we never had a great relationship. Okay, I mean, I've actually fought my father 3 times.
Once for me.
Okay, I've actually
Well, we
fought
got
this
some
man
similarities.
3 times. Okay, so
I would have
I
to see
didn't
my father
actually,
fight him, so.
I didn't actually start building a relationship with this man until I actually went into the military at the age of 23. When I went into the military at the age of 23, that's when he started reaching out to me. Now, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. He was reaching out to me, and I'm sitting down. Keep this in mind. My mother, for many, many years, my mother was my best friend. That's a whole nother story, but I actually dropped out of high school because she was in a hospital. And when I was in the military, and he started calling me, reaching out to me, I'm sending this calls, the voicemail, hidden, and I'm like, forget this nigga, this, that, the other, da 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 da. And I'm telling my mother, I'm like, you know who called me today, and who actually had the nerve, and da da da. And she, you know what my mother said? Answer the call. See what he got to say. You getting upset and everything, but you don't even know what he got to say to you. And you know what I did? I answered the call. And the first thing he did, when I very first called, and I'm going to say this, very first call, my father said, hey, boy, what you doing today, boy? Because here's the thing, and I thank God that he didn't say son. Because if he'd have said son, I probably would have cussed him out. Okay? He said, boy. All right? So when he did that, and I said, you know what, I need to start letting go, because I started noticing that my anger and my rage was starting to negatively affect my military career. I was starting to act out and do things that I should not have done. So then, turn around, I said to myself, I said, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was stationed in Portsmouth, Virginia, in a 1-bedroom apartment. Now keep this in mind, my middle daughter's mother, my ex-wife, she refused to move with me, refused to move with me to where I was stationed at. So I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment by myself, and I said, one night, I said, you know what, I said, God, I need to let go of this anger, I need to let go of this rage, I need to let go of this pain, because I need to let go of it so that I can be the man that you called me to be. And you know what I started noticing? I started doing things to better myself. I started looking at different ways to be a better man. And that's how I started slowly letting go of my trauma. But keep this in mind, it took years.
I gotta say this just in case somebody listening needs to hear the hard truth. I ain't past it. I just love my father. I ain't past the trauma, I ain't past the hurt, none of that. I call him, I talk to him, he called me, I talk to him, and I ain't past it.
See, y'all get that though. Y'all get that. You call and talk to him.
Yeah.
I don't know my father's number. My mom don't know. He doesn't call me.
But I ducked that record for a long time.
I'm gonna say this: the last time I talked to my father, I was 18, and one of the questions he asked me was, "How old are you now?"
Hey,
Yo, it hurts. I left.
Terrence,
I
last
left.
week my father said, man, your birthday Monday, right?
Damn. Hey, Terrence, can you do me a favor? Can you
My
send-
wife right here, man.
I was about to take a sip on that one,
the
but
link
good.
for people to post into it, if you know it, because it's like 20 people right now trying to hear what we're saying, and they can't. The post is not
Spicy Theory.
Did they go to
Spicy Theory,
Facebook?
guys.
Facebook is Spicy Theory on Facebook.
On Instagram, it's on Facebook. It's Spicy Theory. Okay, it's Spicy Theory, guys.
2 words.
And
Sorry.
I'm gonna piggyback. Like I said when we first started, my mom never talked bad about my real father, but that's not to say she didn't talk bad. Growing up, we're all the same age. or around the same age.
Roundabout.
You older than me.
All right, you know, in the ballpark.
But
But
don't worry, sir. It's me and you the same age, bro.
when your mom had come or dad, however the living situation was, and they were talking, you were nowhere in the same facility as the grown-ups talking. And I say that to say to the mothers now, you know, you talk bad about the fathers, these kids are hearing it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do
So
that.
My father didn't do it and still don't.
They're listening to what you're saying, and they're growing their own opinion because you're their mom, your mom, your mom. So you know, mommy knows. So you know, they're not seeing. And I say that to say, you know, I reach out to my kids often, call, I text, nothing, no reply, no pickup. So I reached out to their mom. Yo, you know, why the kids don't answer the phone? And her response was, oh, they don't answer for me too. They live with you. You're going to see them. You know what I'm saying? My son, he texts me every now and again, but it's not how you doing, Dad, what's been going on. The text is, hey, you got $20 so I get something to eat.
How old is he again?
He's 20.
And where he at?
He's with his mom.
Oh, where? Like, geographic.
Wason's Corner. So I'm like, damn, you can't text and see how I'm doing, you know, but I'm still a father. So I send him the $20.
So he said that.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Look, you take that deep breath, like,
all right, nigga, here you go. Where's your cash out? Then I get another phone text the next day. Hey, you know, can I get $20 more? I was like, all right, nigga, you old enough to work. I was 19 in the military. You gotta do something. You know, your mother got this child support. Shit, she's still getting the child support for them, and they're 20 and 18. But you know, all you can do is try and keep trying. You know, it's okay. You know, it's like it's a term out there called, you know, the bitter moms or bitter woman or whatever, and I believe that to be true in a sense because everything was peaches and herbs until I was with someone. Then it went back to not talking, not doing that. And then once I was single again, it was fine, vice versa. So it goes both ways.
Can I get some game on that real quick for somebody that might need it?
What type of game you need? You know, I ain't gonna tell all the things.
No, this is real game. So if your child's not in your geographic area or too far, because sometimes Wade's Corner is far depending on time of day, remember that you are the biological father. So
you have rights.
Oh my God, them rights.
You say that word again, baby.
Them rights,
Rights.
man. My wife's trying to start a program to help with that too. So
See,
she
but-
watched me go. Hold on, I gotta tell the game.
Okay.
So you can call the school. Say, I would like to speak to the guidance counselor. I'm gonna send you this birth certificate with my name and my picture ID, and I need 20 minutes every day with my child, and they can't deny it.
You know what? Hold on. I actually went through that before, right? Now
I
keep
can
this in
answer
mind.
the question.
I actually went through that before, where my daughter was in school. We done already had a court order signed by a judge and everything. And I told them, I said, you know what? I'm going to be coming up to the school, and this is what I'm going to be doing. This, that, and the other. Just trying to front load and be respectful and stuff like that. You know, and just trying to keep tensions down. She tells me, oh no, you can't come up to the school unless the mother says so. I said, how about this one? I got a court order that says I ain't got to ask the mother's permission.
Yeah.
Okay? I said, so here's what we're going to do. I said, I'm going to send you this court order. Once you get it, once you have it in your possession, I'm coming up to the school.
Yeah.
And if you try to keep me from seeing my child when I come there, I will sue you. I will sue the school. I will sue the principal. I will sue the school district.
And what happened?
Every time I walk through, how you doing, Mr. Wilson? hey, Mr. Wilson, how you doing?
Gotta know them
What's
rights.
going on, Mr. Wilson? Hi. You know what? Matter of fact, she's in lunch right now. So if you want, I can escort you down there. I bet you will.
Just get in my past,
I
man.
had to do that.
But you know, piggyback. Okay, you know, being in politics, you know, have you thought about proposing a bill to protect that? Because, like I said in the last episode, the court system is not made for us. When it comes to child support,
Family
you know,
support, none of that.
no, the family court is a joke.
You know, that's an education thing, though, Terrence, just to let you know. Like a lot of people don't know what their rights are, and they never do this. Like, you know what's funny about that, BJ?
They never open up a
Go
book.
ahead. 'Cause
You know what's
about
funny
to go
about
down
that, BJ?
the same
So-
slope.
Huh?
Go ahead. You going down the same slope?
So here's the thing about that. Like, I'm a person that doesn't like to do tedious things. So like, women in my life, it's always they do certain things for me. Even like one of my best friends, take care of logistic things for me. Like, do this, take care of my banking. Do this, just tell me what this is. And blah,
bad
blah, blah,
man. He's a bad man.
But my point being is, we don't take care of as the logistics as men that we should do.
Yeah.
That those same questions can be answered and used against as weapons, just like they are with us. You know what I mean? That situation, that's on us right there, T. Educating ourselves, be like, you know what? Well, what are my rights? What are my situations? What are my things?
But to be fair, and I'm not disagreeing. with you.
It's loaded against us.
No, but to be fair, as a young man in the world and a young minority man in the world, that's not your education piece. You ain't even trying to hear that when an old head come tell you. So I'm just gonna be honest. At an age between 16 and 24, I ain't trying to hear you talk about no daggone rights, about no baby. Which is sad. But to go deeper on your question, I think we need to do kind of what Ron was alluding to and do more on the community side, just like any laws. Laws are normally drafted because of two things, either money or pressure. So if we added more pressure on the political leaders to say, look, man, we got some great fathers out here in our area. I'm going to just talk about where we sitting at this moment. Say Prince George's County, Maryland. There's some great fathers, man. We need more opportunities for them to have forums and education and informative sessions to talk about how they can be better
Things
fathers.
that advocate for them.
Yeah,
just like
advocate.
they
That's
advocate for
shout out to
them.
my wife,
For
me.
us, just like
She
they
watched me
advocate
go
for
through
them.
all this, so she like, man, I'm trying to start a program so nobody got to go through. I want to be the middleman between the child support and the courts. I say, beautiful, baby, let's do it.
Terrence,
Can I
how
throw
many
something
people
out
you
there
know?
real quick?
How many dudes you know to get child support?
I know one.
I know one.
You know
I
what? When you
one.
hear dudes say,
I
"I
know
get
one.
child support," you be like
But-
this. Okay.
Before we get away from that, there's actually a movement right now, but it's on the West Coast, and it actually started and got birthed in Washington State. There is a group of men who have come together and started hiring lawyers to start battling on behalf of fathers. Okay, so
You know the name of-
Miss Meek, and not offhand, I
You know what's
follow
funny?
them. I
There's
follow
one
them
in-
on my
there's
page.
one in the
trust
DMV
me,
that's ran
and
by
I
a
would
woman.
look for it.
There's
But
one
I'm
in DMV that's ran by a woman that does that. For black
and you
fathers.
know what? I would love for that, her, Meet Me, and everyone else that want to join in to come together. Okay, because when you have more people putting like BJ said, putting the pressure on them, that's when change happens. Every single thing in this world has changed because there was pressure. Okay, understand? We know the time that we're now living in. Just like I was telling one of my coworkers, the whole reason why the civil rights movement was so successful was because black people, white people, Asians, and everyone else came together and they put pressure on the government. Okay? Just like with this, for the court systems to make their change, it's going to have to take pressure from all different angles for them to say, you know what, we have to give something, we have to change something, because there's way too many horror stories that we're seeing. And now when I say horror stories, I don't know about y'all, but I know with my middle child, I walked beside that courtroom and felt as though I wasn't even being hurt.
Right.
I thought I was talking just
Boy, these
talk.
have one when he told me, get out, get the bailiff. Bailiff, get him. Because I'm asking questions about my son.
Yeah.
They
Unbelievable.
gonna lock me up, man. And gave me the max on. We talking about that max on child support, and I'm just asking about the custody. I don't care. Whatever you want
Take
me to
the money.
pay, I'm gonna pay.
I don't care.
But what
How
about
many people
how many
don't
times
care
can I
about
see
dudes
him?
don't care about the money?
When I
Don't care
tell
about
you,
the money.
understand this. When they told me that they wanted me to pay more than 80% of her mortgage, okay, they wanted me to pay $1,450 a month in child support for one child. Not to mention the other two children I'm already paying child support for. Okay? They said $1,450. You know the first thing I said out my mouth was, okay, how often am I see my daughter?
That's all I care about.
In all honesty, the money, let me be real with you, okay? I'm a hustler.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the
figure this
money
out.
back.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Okay, I'm gonna figure something out when
It's
it
a
comes to the
bill just
money.
like anything
I
else.
just want to see my
It's
baby.
a bill just like
Everything
anything
else, I
Not
don't
important.
care. Let me
Important.
see my baby.
And the weaponization that some people. So I'm not saying that I have this problem. I want to be very clear with this.
Be clear, Ron. Say it again.
I don't have this problem, but my brothers that I have seen that have this problem, and I'm gonna be quiet at this point after this. But my brothers that have this problem, because here's the thing: I'm on live just like y'all are, and some people are saying things like, "Well, look, y'all like I said last time. Some people like y'all can monster women."
No,
Everybody,
this
we're
is not a
doing
women
that.
bashing thing.
We're not doing this. Is
These
not
are
a bashing thing.
our stories.
This is like this though.
We're not women
so here's the
bashing
thing. There are two different.
at all.
There are there are
Me too, I love my wife.
issues that everybody has.
babe.
There are issues that women. There are some dudes like they said. There are some dudes that are not in this room that are having like you know what I don't know if that's my son or not, and he looked just like you. Or he you know we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people, the gentlemen that are trying, that want to, and just because of the situations and the legal system and this, that, and not knowing your
No,
rights.
Ron,
not
for your
education.
listeners, I think we clear on what we saying. Mom, let dad be dad.
Yeah, that's the subject.
Hold on, because that's clear. You understand what we're saying. Let dad be. We ain't saying father. Father's on the birth certificate. Your father ain't doing nothing for your child. But the dads are the ones taking care of the children. We are dads. We are
Yes.
dads. So
We put in time.
Ain't no woman
We put in work.
bashing. We
Well,
got
see,
women in front of us now
BJ,
watching.
BJ, I'm not saying.
No, they need to hear
I'm being
it, but
devil's
they need to hear it
advocate in this
clear.
situation,
They
right?
need to hear it clear. It's no woman bashing.
But the
No,
people that
they
say,
need to hear-
hold on. The people that are saying the woman bashing is probably the same ones not letting their fathers
See, I ain't
be
even
the
gonna go
father.
down there.
I'm not
You
gonna
know
go
what?
down
I
there.
was
I ain't
thinking
even
the
gonna go
same
down
thing,
there.
I'ma
but
go
I
there.
was not going
go
to.
that
But I wasn't going to go down that
I'll
road.
drive.
But
I'll
I'm gonna
get
say
the
this.
This is
I got shotgun, baby.
This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity, and you know what? I feel like this could be a segment that can be
Nah,
done once
you
or
know
twice
what?
a month, but not just the 4 people in this room, but other people that you bring into it. The stories that are not told. Let's go back. Let's tie that to stories that are not told from people that are victims of.
But you know
different
what?
situations.
Hold on,
This
because
is victimization too.
let me say this. Let
You
me
are
say
being
this real
attacked.
quick
Some men are
because
being attacked.
you're
Well,
saying
that
you're
woman
saying
bashing?
hold on, no.
Some men are being
Hold on.
attacked, though.
You're
They
saying
can come
women
on the
bashing.
show if they want.
No.
And give their opinion.
Hold on. No. Let's
They're
not break.
entitled to it.
Let's not open the door for foolishness. Okay. Let's not do that.
Debate.
Because the thing is because you're sitting up here saying that we're woman bashing, but how long has it been that women have told their story and nobody said that you're man bashing?
So take the mic.
You know what I'm saying?
Take the mic. When did we mention women in this conversation?
Not one time.
Come on, man.
We are talking about
We're
the
pro-
stories
we're pro.
that we have lived.
We're pro
Okay?
love for the kids.
I'm
You're
gonna be
pro
honest.
father,
It's
you're pro
all
love,
about
right.
it is all about our lives with the children.
Right.
Let me break something down with you. I am not a woman basher. I love women, and I'm breaking down to you like this. Okay, when I tell you that the most powerful and most influential person in my life is black women. Okay, when I'm talking about is my mother and my wife. Okay, they are the most influential people in my life.
Likewise.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you this: where I won't listen to others, those two can get my attention and get me to say, "Hold on, let me pump my brakes. Maybe I'm going down the wrong path."
Likewise.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not woman bashing. Only thing I am telling you right now is I'm telling you the story that I have lived through.
If I tell you I like McDonald's French fries, that don't mean I'm talking about Burger King Wow.
Exactly. Thank you.
Come on, man. I'm
I
talking
agree.
about McDonald's French
Hey,
fries.
Thank
I
you.
want to make sure I agree. I agree, and I'm with you with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like I said.
I know,
the two
but I got to
sides of every
speak on it
situation,
because
right.
that is why some men are be afraid to speak and step up. Like, oh man, then I'm gonna look like the sucker that you saying, and I'm trying to.
Nah,
Come on,
you
man.
know, you know what's so messed up?
I tell you what, Ron.
You know what's so messed up?
You know what? Matter
Remember
of
the
fact-
scene? I'm gonna give y'all a scene real quick. I'm sorry. Remember that scene a couple years ago? Everybody clowned Tyrese.
Uh-huh.
He was crying on
I did.
TV talking
Yep.
about.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was involved in that joke. When I seen the video, I almost broke a rib laughing, bro.
You know what you did in that situation though? You attacked the victim. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because
Yes.
in the same
Yes.
situation, what more
Yes.
do you want from me?
Yes.
I don't
I
care
felt
about
the
the money.
pain, though. I swear I felt
Yes.
the pain.
Oh my
You know
God.
what you did was you
What
saw.
more do you
because you know
want
what you
from
did
me?
though? You know what you did though?
Lord,
It's the
please,
flip.
I'm sorry.
It's the flip
I'm
mode.
sorry.
Just like when men do sometimes they saw weakness. he wasn't afraid to put his weakness out there. Like I said this though, maybe he did it the wrong way, putting it on the fucking internet and shit, and saying crying and all that other stuff. But at the same time, if you don't feel like you're being heard in the court to the woman and all that other situation, and the most important thing is this though, you love that 8-pound or look, I'm gonna do shit. My son is in the room right now. If you love that 100-pound kid more than anything that you have in the world, you are going to release that pain.
You know
anyway,
what?
those tears you talk about.
I can attest to that because I did it last week.
Can I
Like
toss
you cried in the dark.
Can I toss a little nugget in there real quick?
In front of a million.
Can I toss a little nugget in there real quick?
That's pain though, bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
don't laugh at pain.
And it's just from you talking, something just crossed my mind while you was talking.
Thank you, Derek.
And I want to give
Thank you, Derek Johnson.
I want to give a little bit of advice. I want to give a little bit of advice to every single brother that's inside the courtroom right now that's battling. Okay, you battling to be a dad. Okay, you're not battling to be a sperm donor. You're battling to be a dad. Okay,
Don't give
if
up.
you step inside that courtroom and you feel as though that judge is not hearing you and that judge is acting in the favor of the mother, there's something I want you to understand. There's a thing called the Court of Appeals that you can take your case to. Granted, it's going to cost you more time. Granted, it's going to cost you more money. But what price tag can you put on being a father?
Nothing.
Okay? There is no price too high to being a father. Okay? So what I need you to do is don't give up the fight, no matter how much it hurts right now. Because I know it hurts, and I'm gonna tell you this, I know it hurts because there's been many times where I left that courtroom and on the ride home, I had to cry it out where nobody could see me while I was in the car by myself. Okay? And you throw out there and you sit up there and you tell your attorney, you say, you know what, we're going to the Court of Appeals. Why? Because I don't believe that judge heard me.
Yeah,
Okay? And you do that.
Hold on, I want to add that I got to. And another why I did it, and I couldn't afford an attorney because there was times where child support had me at 75 cents a check.
Jesus Christ.
And my wife right here listening will tell. But well, the reason I did it, and I did it every 3 months for a long time, was because I wanted to tell a story. Because you get records of all this. Once you put it on record, it comes to your house. It goes to the other parent's house, and you got a copy. So I got a copy. It's about this big. About this big full of papers that I'm gonna give my son and say, man, here's what I really tried to do year after year without you knowing about it.
Man,
You know how
we
much
so
of a
much
shame
alike.
it is
We
that
so
you have
much
to do
alike
that? Yeah.
because
You know how
I
much of a
turned
shame
around
it
and I
is
told
you have to do
my
that?
oldest daughter asked me about the situation with going through the courts and stuff with my middle daughter. And I turned around and told her, I said, you know, when my middle daughter gets older and she seeks me out, because I'm at the point where I just have to leave it in God's hands because the hurt and the pain of constantly calling, texting, shooting emails, sending letters, stuff like that, and I don't get any reply.
You know how much
I told
pain
my
it
daughter, I
shows
said,
that
you
you
know
have
what,
to
the
do
one
it.
thing I'm going to do
That's
for
what
her
makes people
is,
cry.
once she seeks me out, the first thing I'm going to do for her is I'm going to walk down that courtroom and say, hold on. I'm going to walk down to that courtroom, I'm going to print out every single piece of documentation, and I'm going to just give her this big old booklet.
So
There
this
you
is
go.
Like, dog,
This
I
is
fought
how
for
much
you.
I fought to be
I
in your
fought for
life.
Yeah.
I
Now,
fought for you.
Ron, I need you to have whoever said, we're bashing, to call in and give their opinion.
There you go.
So
What's
we
the
can
number?
talk.
Clay,
The
what's the
number
number?
is 443-584-3574.
Say
And
it
why
again.
we
Say it
Say it again. Say it again.
443-584-3574. And while
Come
we
on
waiting
in.
on that phone call,
We ain't in Baltimore, but what's the number again?
yeah,
One more time?
okay, 443-584-3574. And while we waiting on that person to call, I want to know, fellas. Well, I know you said you're a trauma coach, but are you reaching out to or available to help other men?
I'm
who's
much more
going
available.
through it
I am very
mentally, emotionally.
I am very much available
Man,
to
I'm-
help, not
I
just
need
men.
your help, fool.
Hey, we hey, how many times have we ran into each other? Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna
I
hit
am
you with this one,
available to help anyone that
I'm a-
wants and needs it. Understand me when I say this to you.
Mhm.
Understand this when I say this to you. Okay? Now, I can't sit up here and serve every single person for free. Alright? But I'm going to throw this out there. For the next 3 people that like, share. Okay, hold on. Like and share on Facebook, Instagram,
Log in.
whatever else, YouTube. Huh? Buzzsprout. Download it on Buzzsprout, okay? On the spicy theory. Understand, hold on. Let me say it again. We need you to go on Facebook. I need you to go on Instagram. I need you to go on YouTube. And I need you to take your butt to Buzzsprout, okay? And I need you to like, share, and download, okay? The Spicy Theory podcast. And the first 3 people, not just limit this to men, just not limiting this to men, I will help you completely free. Now understand, once it gets back to me that these individuals, then I am going to reach out to you and I'm going to help you I am going to give you a free 90-day coaching so that you can get over your trauma. All right? 3 90-day coaching. This is how
the first 3 people.
The first 3 that do it.
And
Matter of fact, no. Matter of fact, let's push it back a little bit. Let's push it back. 248, 249, 250. I'm giving you free coaching for 90 days.
That's cool. And I can't do free coaching because I'm not a coach. I am a life coach, but I'm not a coach in this space. I will say though that them same 3, because I wanted to be a pass on. Them same 3, I catch you after tone, and I make sure that you pass it on, that same exact energy and information to somebody that's going through the same thing. So I'll be your support in transition. And there's a reason why I ain't go the next 3 or none of that, because when you give that type of knowledge for real to somebody, they get lost. I was like, oh my God, I just got all this information from Tone. What I'm gonna do next? Da, da, da. So now I'm gonna be your crutch to help you finalize it and give it the turns per se. So somebody else can have it in the community, so we can grow the next person and the next person. So Tone will be out the picture. You can start paying that good money that he do, and then we can pass the information to the next person.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm no coach, no life coach, none of that. But I got ears. You know, it's sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. It's like for a man, we don't
got that space.
We don't really want to talk.
Or we don't got that space.
We keep a lot of stuff bottled in. I know I bottle stuff in, but
That's what we taught them.
it's hard to keep it bottled in because when that bottle you shake it too much, it's gonna explode. Yeah, and it's gonna explode.
Build that pressure.
That's not always a good thing. And you know, I'm gonna say this little tip lip because I've been drinking, but you know, it's been times when I've been out in public and just stop and smile when I see a man with his son. You know, when you see with his kids, I'm not gonna say son.
Yes,
just a kid, just to see the interaction. I just be like, look at that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It is just like it's some good men out here. It's some bad men out here. It's some good women out here. It's some bad women out here. It's not just one sex. So I mean that makes me proud. I don't know about y'all, but it makes me proud to see a man just interacting with their kids.
There's some fatherhood forums out here. I just did the fatherhood forum initiative with DC, with DHS, right? It's some fathers out here who really just want to help their children.
Yes.
It wasn't no glorification in it. It wasn't no limelight involved. It was just about 50, 60 dads in the District of Columbia.
Yes.
Who just said, I just need some help being a father. So what they won't do to BJ is say, man, that we ain't trying. We trying.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick because you know it's not just the man trying to be a father to their son. It's people that's not even just a father, just be there like you with your boys, the bow tie. You know, I've ran across some youngins just in the street and like, come on, man, what y'all doing? Sometimes they don't have that father; they just need somebody to talk to. For instance, if you're ever in the Clinton area and ride past the Dash Inn, I stopped there the other night and there was a young brother out there selling hand-drawn pictures for $10. I bought all of them, but I didn't take none of the pictures with me. I paid for the pictures and told them, because you could be out here robbing, you know, breaking into people's cars, but you out here doing something positive.
You out here trying.
You know what I'm saying? So take this, you know, and you know, I'll support. If you out here, because I had some youngins pull up on me while I was pumping my gas. So My street self says, get ready. Because I didn't know what they were,
Boom.
but they said, look here, my brother, we not coming to you, wrong. We trying to sell these fragrance, these car fresheners. We just got off the bus. They was honest. We could be out here breaking their cars.
Let me pass a challenge this way. So, on Facebook, I just posted a challenge because somebody challenged me. So I'm challenging the three of you down this line. So this is what it was. It's right behind the line you're talking about. That same dude, you need to find him. So what we're doing is we're trying to find somebody in the community, male or female, no matter who, that's under 18, and we're going to show them if they got to already be in some type of business mind, selling fragrances, waters, whatever it may be. And say, all right, so I'm going to give you a new starter kit. So I'm going to give you whatever it is that you're selling, a small portion like you did with that, buying all the all the pictures. And say, so going forward, I need you to say $220 so we can get you an LLC. And with that LLC,
Actually, we do that at the association.
well, perfect. We
Oh,
need
well, all right.
more
Awesome.
time.
That's
Because
even
I-
more. That's even more.
That was before my challenge, Ron.
Yeah,
Okay, you need one more.
Just let you know, we do help people out with that shit.
Great. We're going to challenge you one more. And that's how we change. And you know what it really does, though? It's right along the line of what the subject is for what we're talking about. It shows the adolescents in the community that there's some good fathers out there.
Yes, it does.
Because the first thing, not the first thing, about the third or fourth thing the younger asked me the other day was, you got kids? I was like, yeah, that's a tough. I ain't never had nobody ask me that one. And I was like, yeah, I do. Got two. So it showed him like, dang, all right.
We advocate for that too because I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna give y'all like a back channel thing where my pride got in the way of helping other people in that situation. A year or two ago, I was in with Carter, and we were having breakfast. Me and him were sitting in literally just like any other day, having breakfast, and a gentleman walked up to me, and he worked for a TV station. He asked me to be a part of a video or segment or something like that about fathers and blah blah blah. He wanted to basically put us out there like that. I kind of got, with the pride and part of me, the ridiculous part of me, kind of got a little. I don't know if I'm gonna say offended, but it was like this. I took it as the media being a monster, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not with my son. This is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not doing it for the gram or for applause or anything like that. Look, I was raised by two parents. I had a father in my life. He did what he was supposed to do, for the most part and everything. 95. You know what I'm saying? If I pick the phone up, I can call him, blah blah blah. I said no, I'm not gonna be a part of that. I'm fine with this. I don't do this for you to do, to be like, oh, he's a good father. He's one of the good ones. I took it as that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should not have done that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should have done it so that it could shine light on that situation. But there are people out there that want this to be shown and want you all to be praised and things like that. Just to let you know. And this panel right here, we want you to be praised. We want you to know that there are people out here that have issues that you're having right now, and you got somewhere to go to. So don't be ashamed of it, and at all. Don't be ashamed of it at all. Sending DMs and sending messages and things like that. Please do not be ashamed of it. Reach out to Mr. Wilson. Reach out to Mr. Page. You know what I'm saying? Reach out to Spicy Theory, and you know what I'm saying? And we'll help you.
Yes. Awesome stuff. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not about that glorification life. I don't do things to be recognized by the community. I don't do things to be recognized by TV stations and all that other stuff. I don't do it for that. I do what I do because I love serving. My entire life, every single job that I've ever had, I have done in the interest of serving others. I love that. I love being in servitude. I love the fact that I served my country with an honorable discharge. I love the fact that I still serve my country.
Thank you for your service.
With an honorable discharge. With honorable, what is it, ways? Actions.
Thank you for your service. Bro.
Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate it. And I want to serve, and again, let me plug that again. For the 248, 249, 250. That like, share on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spicy Theory. I am going to give you 90 days free coaching.
I want somebody to call in.
I want
I'm waiting for
We
the
want y'all
phone
to
to
call
ring.
in.
We've been waiting for the.
Somebody call in. It's anonymous. You can go ahead and say what you gotta say.
Even if they don't.
Oh yeah, and download the show on Buzzsprout. You know what you do on that download? You download it, you take it to work, you shoot people the link to download and listen to the podcast. You shoot people to your family members, your friends. Say, hey, you know what? While you at the desk, listen to this. This is some good information. Listen to it.
Guess what? I bet you didn't know this. You can download Spicy Theory on Spotify too.
You can download Spicy Theory on every single podcast. What is it called again? What is it called? What's it called? Not venue.
Outlet, social media
Outlet. Thank you. But you can download Spicy Theory on every single outlet there is for a podcast.
Yeah.
Do we have any audience questions? Y'all can type in on us too.
Yeah.
Type the questions in.
Those who
We'll
watching on
address them right
Facebook,
now.
you can type in a question right now, and the super producer, which is my wife. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Let me throw that out
His
there.
queen.
Because y'all got a
Hold
live
on.
audience.
The super producer, which is my wife. All right, you know, on Facebook, Instagram, what else? All the social media platforms that Spicy Theory is rocking on. Okay, you got a lot, and you have a live audience. Yeah. So y'all can rock and roll with questions on it. Hey,
While we wait on the question, I can go ahead and give us something. These can be quick answers because I don't want to take time if somebody jump in with a question. So looking back at it, start with T and T. Just a yes or no. Would you have done something different to better the opportunity for you to be a father to your kids?
yes.
Yes.
What would have been the something different?
I was gonna say that.
What would have been something different? I would have tried to make peace sooner.
Y'all want to know something, girl? Y'all want to know? Ooh, you just stung.
See, I knew he was gonna do that. I was like, that's exactly what I was saying.
But you said
It's stung though.
simple questions though, simple answers. So
I'll
we're
be
not gonna,
simple.
drag it out. But
I ain't had longer than a 5-second conversation with my son's mother in 10 years.
What is the current status of each one of you all relationship with your kids?
My kids outstanding.
You active, still talk,
Super. I
communicate?
just talked to him this morning at 8:30 in the morning. Make sure you have a great day. Looking forward to you going to South Carolina so you be down there close to your sister. I need you to go ahead and think about what you're going to do next year coming out of high school. I need you to think about getting your second semester here in Prince George's County Public Schools so you can work on this Prince George's County Community College free. So super active, but I would still say super inactive with his mom, and that's not always healthy.
No.
It's not always healthy, but
Stagnation is never a good thing.
but it's work though, Tom.
Yeah.
As
You
you
gotta
as a
put it
coach,
in.
it's work.
Yeah, you
No,
gotta put it in.
it's work.
Patience.
Yeah.
With him and I,
Yeah.
it's work.
all right,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say this. I have 5 kids. Yes.
Super
I-
duper
Papa
ball.
was
Actively
Rolling Stone.
Involved with 2 kids. My youngest son, I see 5 times out the week. My middle daughter, which is 17, we talk. She texts me, see how I'm doing. My oldest 2, I have another child that's 8. I could say I haven't seen or talked to that child since she was 3. My middle child is the one, we talk, we text, hey, happy Father's Day, this, that, and the other. We go out to eat. But the oldest 2, it's been 4 years, 5 years. So I reach out, but that's really all I can do.
We gotta wrap our hands around you and help with that.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and listen to that and we not do something.
Yeah, you got too much resource around you, bro.
I don't even
way
know what to do,
too much
but I
resource.
just can't, I can't
Sometimes
hear
it's
it and
just
it
like
be
reaching
okay.
out.
Yes, you got way too much resource. Way too much resource around you.
So we
I
gotta work on
know
that.
my
All script.
my oldest daughter, right now, ever since, especially even before and ever since our rekindling of our relationship, okay, Pop's superhero to her, okay. Now when I tell you, like, I'll wake up in the morning and I got a text coming from her like 2 something in the morning, okay, that happens regularly. Middle daughter, like I said, 7+ years. I haven't talked to her in 7+ years, but like I said, I gotta leave that in God's hands and just continue to pray for her, pray over her, okay.
And where's she at, Tom?
She is literally
To DC.
maximum 20 minutes away from me.
Damn.
Understand this. Hold on. She's 20 minutes away from where I live at. She is a total of 10 minutes from where I work. I am a DC firefighter.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
I can literally get in my ladder truck with my company and say, hey, I want to stop past this house and see my daughter. And just because it is always good publicity when we are working in the community, okay, they can say, not a problem, because she's in our area. You know what I'm saying? My youngest daughter, I'm superhero to her. That girl will FaceTime me. If she's FaceTime me and she don't get anything, she'll text me and say, hey, Dad, I'm trying to FaceTime you right now. I need you to FaceTime. I need you to get on FaceTime. Not a problem.
So I'm going to just say, for being in the atmosphere and being behind the camera, I don't know if anybody else feel it, but the spirit is heavy. Because I had no idea, and I'm going to just apologize to you all, and I'm going to apologize to every man I ever thought this about. Because my thought process was always, if you go to court, you'll be able to see your child. The only reason why my whole thing was, you don't want to be a father, because you go to court and you can get your child support and you can get your visitation and they'll help you. But it wasn't until I watched my husband go through it that I was like, I mean, excuse my language, but damn.
Right.
Are you even going to allow the lawyer of the father to say something and you take it into consideration?
Let me say this real quick, okay? Because my wife, she actually was there when I was battling to be in life with my youngest daughter, okay? So I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all didn't hear what my wife, which is also the producer of the show behind the camera, y'all didn't hear what she said, okay? But let me just say this. Child support is for, and only for, non-existent fathers. Child support is for sperm donors. Okay? Child support is for sperm donors.
Yeah, that's what
Okay?
it's meant to be for.
It's meant to be for them, okay? Because the fathers, which is what I am, who's always battled to be in my kids' lives, and I got the court documents to prove it, okay? It's not for me, all right? It's not for me, because you want to know why? Because whenever you sitting up here hitting me up, texting me, calling me, whatever it may be, and saying, hey, your child needs this, I'm like, all right, as soon as I get off from work, I'm going to run, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to drop it off, no problem.
Tony.
Can I give a question for the audience to have and just soak in and respond whenever they want? Spicy Theory. If you had a father that gave no money for whatever reason, I don't care what the reason is, does that mean that that father should not see their child?
No.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, it's not even gonna be. Yeah.
Leave it there, Tony.
Yo.
So I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that situation. Let me ask you a question. All of you have been in court for the situation before, right?
Still in court.
You said you're still in court?
Yeah, I'm not going to stop the course until I'm completely done with all arrears. My son's 18. I don't have no child support, but I have arrears based on how they lined it up. We talked about that in the first episode. If you didn't see it, go back to the first episode.
Yeah.
So I'm still in court until that's done, and I might fight for that to not even get that paid. And I'm not even that type of dude. But my reason for fighting that is that my son is 18. Can I give it to him?
Nope.
It's arrears though. It's not.
Hold on.
But I know what you are.
Oh my God! You just saw how it sounded.
So this not child support no more.
Right.
We're done with child support.
Right.
No.
But this is now arrearage off of what you based to be best interest for the child, and the best interest for the child right now is to have that money. I give him that money to mom.
Hey,
But it's like if your
If it was
child
going to him.
doesn't live with the mother, that mother is still getting their child support.
hold on.
If
Hold
your,
on, hold
if
on,
your
hold
son
on,
goes to
hold
the
on,
military,
hold
goes
on.
off
Hold
to
on.
college,
Hold on.
Yeah,
they
let me
still get that money.
Let me say this. If that child does not live with that mother, but you still paying child support, you have to fault yourself. Reason being, because you should have went back to the courts.
If it's common child support.
Yeah,
I agree.
you
with
should have
that.
went back to the courts and said, hold on, this child is in the military. This child is now taking care of themselves. So I should not be paying her current money that is not going to him or her.
Yeah.
You understand? You should not be paying for a child that the mother is not taking care of.
But it could go to the arrears on that. But
It
it's
could
not
go
current.
to the rears, but if it's current, you should not be
Yeah, I agree.
paying it. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this, okay? If you are sitting up here like me, okay? I was in arrears. Okay, I was in arrears, and the reason why I was in arrears, why? Because the course was trying to take more money from me than I was
Listen to the first episode.
in the first
You couldn't
episode.
live and
Okay,
make that payment
you're
at the
telling
same
me
time.
to pay you more money than I'm bringing home, dude, bruh. Are you serious right now?
That's impossible.
How are
We
you
had to
telling
go
me
through
to
this.
pay more
That's
money than
impossible.
I'm
That's
bringing
sad.
home?
So I question.
Big ups to
Oh, go ahead.
big ups to two different situations. Like I give you a prime example. Like my mother, right? You know, my mother. I'm gonna say two stories real quick. My mother never. You know, I guess it's the situations you go to, like in the past too, when you feel off of it. Like my mother, when my mother and father split up, I was like 9 years old. I never saw the inside of a courtroom, and neither did they. You know what I mean? My mother said, "Listen, do this, and we fine."
Yeah.
And guess what?
Your
My
folks did
father-
it right though, Joe.
Huh?
Your folks did it right.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
regardless of how
Do
it
this.
felt.
Let me go
Yeah.
this here real quick. My mother said, "Do this, and we all right." So guess what? My father did what he was supposed to do when it came financially and all that other stuff. And then when he was supposed to be there, he was there for most of the.
Watch how this thing.
So here's another one. Let me go back to this. Let me go to evolution.
That's the same thing I'm going to talk about.
Evolution was this. Me and my son's mother did not work out for any number of reasons or whatever. So when we were together, man, you drank all the whiskey, so you might as well go ahead.
That's the
I
one we
can't
told
make you
him.
another
We
drink.
told him go pee before we left the house, and he
listen.
want to go now.
I'm sorry, but listen. So when me and my son's mother didn't work out, we were already doing things financially, you know, split this when it came to him. We're going to take care of this, take care of this, take care of this. She said, we're just going to continue to do what we want to do. I have never seen, my son will be 10 years old next week on the 10th. I've never seen the inside of a courtroom when it came to him.
But Ron, watch this. And this just reality. This is America, Jack. I heard that before.
Where I was going to go back to, I'm going to give you an app, I'm going to let you flow into this. The sad thing is this, though, is that I've always taken care of that situation. That money's always been there. I'm always blah, blah, blah. I always wanted to do more.
Yeah.
That's just because I was always excited to be a papa. You know, that's what I wanted to be.
We
was a
always
great father.
excited.
We were. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just say this. I feel for two sides of that situation, Terrence. I feel for two sides of that situation. I feel way more for us just fighting to do this and all that other situation. But I also feel for situations where people have said, like, my mother said this, do this, and you ain't got to worry about nothing. The people that do that, the motherfuckers that don't do what they're supposed to do in that situation, you know what I'm saying? I've been with women over the years that I had to take.
Let me interrupt you.
Oh yeah.
What about when you do everything that you're supposed to do
And
and
they
you
still fucking
still
broke?
get what you get?
I agree
Let
with
me
you on
just
that.
tell
I
you
agree
about
with you
our
10,000
situation
fold.
to go a little deep and personal. We have had custody of our son and was still paying child support to her
BJ, how many times
just
did I tell
to
you that was
keep the
bullshit?
peace.
How many times did I tell you it was bullshit that somebody took your son to another, actually it's a country in America,
And
but
that was
another
my-
country period, and it was fucked up because you had to pay
My
that much
question
money.
was when he said the whole court and not paying. What do you do if, like they said, they have custody of this child, but they still give her child support? Do they go back to the courts and say, "Hey, I have this child. Can we stop the child support to her?" What happens?
Tell you what they told me to do.
We didn't do that
But
because we didn't
they
want
told me to
her
get a
to
lawyer.
take him.
Lawyer.
To speak on it,
I can't
they
figure
people
out-
always say this whole modification. Go back and get this modified. Go back and get that modified. But there's not an amount you can put on peace when the end game is relationship.
Exactly.
It's pettiness. I'm sorry. It's so fucked up when you take emotion. It's so fucked up, and I'm gonna blame everybody that does this. I'm gonna blame everybody that does this. You are wrong as fuck when you take your feelings and your pettiness and affect how another parent deals with their child. That's my biggest issue with any of this bullshit, man or woman. If you're a man and you won't pay because you can't be with your baby mother and she dealing with somebody else, you're.
But we ought to change. No, we to change.
If you're a woman,
if
you're a woman and you're hurting a
Ron,
man,
Cause
if
you
you're,
said-
if you're a woman and you're hurting a man because of that, you
It's
wrong
deeper
as
than that.
fuck
It's
too.
deeper than that. We to change. You talked about you and your relationship with your son. You ain't had to go through court, but just because of generation, you ain't go through it prior to. You got 3 dudes who went through it prior to who's going through it again. I can almost guarantee and guess that our children's mothers went through the same thing. So we got to do better. And just honestly, with us, we here, we men. I'm gonna act like it's just us in the room. We got to do better with picking ours. At least for all the men listening. Because if we did better with picking ours, then we would have known. Like Ron and his other half didn't go through that. Ron didn't go through that. So guess who else ain't going through that? Their child not going through that.
Yes.
So when I went through it, my son's mother went through it. Guess who else going through it? Our son going through it. So we got to do better too, Joe.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying nobody's perfect. You can't change when you grow. I'm just saying we gotta do better.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And it's gonna be a part 3.
We're doing
to
another
this.
one.
We're gonna
Another
hey,
Another one?
listen.
We're gonna take a
This-
poll.
And
this
another
shit-
one.
This shit is serious. and I say this to say,
Let's bring in some women next time.
yeah, and I think
I ain't
we-
coming.
Hey, you know what?
I'm playing.
You know what? On the
I'm
next
playing.
one, let's have an open Q&A. Let's have an
I
open
mean,
Q&A.
matter of fact,
We
y'all
do it
can
out
leave y'all messages on Spicy
do it out
Theory. And, I mean, y'all can do y'all questions, and we will try to address as many questions as we can. But I'm gonna say this: the child support is not made for a man, and I say that to say this. You know, we're in a pandemic, and all you hear is stimulus checks, extra food stamps, extra unemployment. But for the fellas who's on child support, who owes child support, who went through the pandemic, and they took their stimulus check, it's a lot of dudes that didn't work because of the pandemic. So you took their
Oh, the
stimulus
stim-
check to pay
Child support took the stimulus check.
yeah, they took mine too. And I was unfortunate enough that I've been working since the pandemic started. But for the fellas who haven't been working, that stimulus check could have helped. But you say, you know what? Fuck them. We're going to give it to the child or give it to the mother who's getting extra food stamps, who's getting extra $600 in unemployment if they working. But the fella, they like, damn, I got to borrow money so I can get food because I'm not working. They
I
took
know
my
Terrence
stimulus.
got all y'all about to come to the next part 3 because I know he just lit a flame.
Listen.
Listen.
I'm quiet. Y'all remember that when y'all come? When y'all
Hey,
come
I said
quiet,
it.
I'm
This is
quiet.
every month
I
show,
said it.
dog.
That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. If you don't like it, you leave a question. I'll address it. I'll answer all questions. You know, but it's fucked up that I'm not. I mean, you probably gonna say, you know, Rob, your listeners probably gonna say I'm women bashing.
It ain't about
But
my listening.
no, your listeners. It's your
Last
listeners.
week it was your listeners. This
Last
week it's
week
your
it was
listeners.
your
This week it was your
They're
listeners.
entitled to their opinion. But to
Tell
say
them I want
this
to give them all a hug.
to say, you know, I said I was gonna wrap it up, but fuck that. I'm still gonna wrap it up, but
Man, we
women
going
have it so easy.
Only thing I'm doing is riding dirt bikes.
I'm gonna say this. You know what? Fuck, I don't speak. I haven't spoke on this, but my what I say 8-year-old daughter has not worked since I've known her. She has.
Mother.
I'm sorry. Shit.
God damn.
My 8-year-old daughter has not worked.
Country
Try to put him to work early, huh?
I'm putting to work early. She has 4 kids.
She could be out there.
No, real shit. She has 4 kids. She
You go work in mine.
She lives in a townhouse. She pays $100 rent.
Oh,
She has
man.
4 kids. She child support for all 4 kids. She doesn't have to work. For this one, I paid $487 for this one. So that's just for me. I don't know what the other dudes do, what she's paying, but you got to think. Just say she get $487 for 4 kids, you know, for each,
Bruh.
and she's paying $100.
I can't
mean,
talk on that myself personally.
I'm speaking.
But my 3rd oldest brother has a set of triplets and another child by the same woman who is on the system, has a house bigger than mine, okay? Collects more money. Now, keep this in mind, she has like maybe 8 or 9 kids, by God knows how many different baby daddies.
She need to get her too.
Okay.
Okay,
And she's on the
Sometimes
system,
child support needed.
okay?
but
What?
Terrence, you said that you have 5 kids.
5.
2 of them you're active with.
Yes.
The other 3, have you reached out or do you reach out to the mothers to try to see the kids?
Listen, my 8-year-old, her mother is so gutter. I don't want to deal with her. My mom, if I want to get in touch with her, I go through my mom. Just because I don't want to keep me out of jail. I'd rather go through my mom to go, you know. But it's like, as long as that child support money is coming in, it's no problem.
Any other 2?
The other 2, I mean, she's so head over heels for her husband that she doesn't. I don't have any contact with her. We're friends on social media, but so you know she's probably watching this now. But I don't care because I'm not lying. Everything I'm saying is the truth. And if I was lying,
Say hello.
hey, I'm not going to call your name out, but for the people who know me, know who she is. And we gave the number. If she thought I was lying or telling anything wrong, she could have called in and gave her opinion because she's entitled to it.
So are we doing a part 3?
We're going to do a part 3 because it can go on. So on that note, we're going to say goodbye, peace from Spicy Theory.
And look,
Thank
hold
you,
on,
guests,
before
for
we go,
coming
before
through.
we go,
The
before we
penthouse.
go.
The penthouse is available to you, brothers. You
Oh, this is part 3 at?
Hey, this
Yeah,
is part 3.
we already
Part
established
3
that.
ain't going to be back
Y'all
out the
gonna have
penthouse.
something in my
We
house.
just want to tell you this, Adam. So you might as well go to Home
pass it
Depot.
on to you, but part
That's my
3 is
kickback.
in the
That's what I'm
penthouse.
talking about right there.
Okay, so just before we go,
You all do
Super
have
late.
an audience member that's requesting to call in right now.
Call in.
What's the number?
I told you, I'm not gonna kick y'all out. I don't give a fuck.
the
if
numbers
you
that
go to
if the numbers did you lock the number?
So you're gonna have to say
I'm gonna have to.
Did you lock it?
the question. They're not going to be able to talk once they say it.
443.
It's 443
The number is 443
584
584
3574.
3574.
Thank you, Superman.
She said that you all are going through the things that you all are going through because of the women that you chose.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
call in.
good.
Please call in.
Oh, shit!
Hold on.
Sometimes
May I chime in? Hold on.
guess what?
May I chime in?
Oh, wow, that touched
Hold on. You see my
nerve.
arm, right? You see my arm? Hold on. This is my arm after doing round after round after round of push-ups, pain and hurting and muscles hurting and all that. I'm gonna hold on. Now let me say this. There is lots of truth to what she just said.
Yeah, you know
Okay?
what?
But hold on. No.
Push up.
My man, ma'am, please call in.
Please.
Call in.
we need to know your name.
We need to know your
Francis
name.
Jackson.
Okay, we need to know your name and also, you know, the host. He wants to be able to hear your voice so he can actually give us your question. But I'm gonna say this: there is a lot of truth to what you said.
Yes, it is.
But at the same time, hold on, I'm gonna give it to you. But at the same time, there is also a lot of weight left on the individuals that we actually had children by. Okay, why do I say that? And the reason why I say that there is a lot of weight by the individual that we had children by, because if it wasn't them blocking us from being in our kids' lives,
This wouldn't even be a show.
We wouldn't even be having this show right now.
I mean, here's the thing about that though. So I
There's a
used to say
spiritual
that same
piece to that,
thing to my sisters and my cousins and female cousins and things like that. You know what?
Spirits recognize spirits.
It was before, and y'all ignored it. I agree with that. I agree that people showed you what it was and then you ignored it because of this thing or that thing or you were young and all that other stuff situation. That's an excuse and that's bullshit. At some point you need to start to understand that your decisions are about more
Than just you.
than just fucking you. I'm sorry I said fucking just like that, but it's about more than just fucking you. If you're an adult, once you decide to have whatever with some other person and you create another human being, you are responsible for that human being for a certain point, how they grow, how they love, how they deal with stress, how they deal with everything.
Yes.
So fuck with that whole comment.
Listen,
It's not about that other situation, about what you're dealing with and all that other, and the money and
The
blah, blah,
spiritual
blah.
attachment to that, Ron, is
I gotta put the
she is right on her statement.
Ray, I need you to call in because we trying to wrap it up. But if you call in, we gonna keep it going.
But God assured, I almost said aloud, God assured that would happen so that person could be in the world. My son wouldn't be in the world if it was up to me to choose to have this perfect person to have the baby by. So it's the spiritual attachment of that is I ain't really had control of that. I ain't choose her. She chose me. But no, I ain't choose her.
Trying to get those.
But really,
Trying to get shows.
it wasn't
But
it
look,
wasn't a choice.
at the same time, which head was you thinking with when you had that?
I was a player.
Hey, player. Hey, like I told you, I done put chapters in the. I wouldn't put chapters in the encyclopedia.
But no,
Okay.
seriously though, God wanted that to happen just the way it happened. It wasn't about my choice.
I have no regrets on having my kids.
If it was my choice though, look, let's be honest. If it was my choice, her family would have had a perfect family with a lot of money, college educated, well off, a house waiting for me, a job waiting for me, career waiting for me. And so it wasn't choice. It wasn't a choice. It was
chose to have a baby mother or a situation
come on.
baby
But I get your point.
You're 100% correct.
All right,
I never chose
fellas.
that at all.
We gonna wrap it up. Part 3. Ms. Jackson, you're more than welcome to come.
No, you're invited.
Yes,
You're invited.
please. We want you to come to
Part
part 3.
Ain't no chair for you.
Yeah. Look, if I gotta stand up, I'll stand. Let you sit down.
Yeah.
We did.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yes, we can zoom you in. We can do whatever. But
I'm 6 feet. 6 feet. She can sit right there.
yeah, but we're gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching. I want to thank my guest, the bartender, who got me right.
Beyond Associates.
Beyond Associates, baby.
Beyond associate.
Okay,
Baby
yes.
Please
Yes.
check us
I
out.
might have to call off work tonight. But I'm gonna need y'all to go like,
Let us pre-record.
share, follow on Facebook, Spicy Theory, Instagram, download on
YouTube.
Buzzsprout, YouTube. We got it all. You know, tell somebody that knows somebody to tell somebody.
Shout out to Spicy Theory.
248, 249, 250.
Man, we closing, Ron.
This is a permanent panel right here. We gonna do this.
All right, last call. Last call.
That's the main corner.
Look, this
All right,
is a
cheers, and we
permanent
out.
right here. I'm sorry.
Everybody raise their glasses.
And we out.
Hold
We
on,
out.
hold on.
Can we do a shot? Because Spicy Theory has hit 100 downloads.
Oh,
Spicy
we-
Theory. So hold on.
Ain't no
Hold
shot.
on.
Ain't
You
no
said
shot.
Spicy Theory has just hit 100 downloads.
We hit 100 downloads on Wednesday.
Hold on,
We're
man,
right
that's
now at 121 downloads.
121
And this is just the
downloads.
second episode.
And this is just the second download.
So thank you all for your
I got
support.
neighbors, goddammit. I got neighbors.
But
I ain't gonna say what your neighbors do.
also,
Shut
real
up.
quick, if it's something that you would like for us to talk about,
Please.
please
The inbox.
inbox, right on the wall,
Comment.
we respond.
Don't call my cell phone.
Call that nigga.
Call me. I'm gonna give my wife the phone. Let her
But
talk.
on that note, we had a good
We out.
episode.
Much love.
We out.
Thanks,
Yes.
all.
Thank y'all.
Love y'all.
Goodbye. Good night.
God bless you.
Be spicy.
Be spicy.